Hello and welcome to the March 2026 edition of Coffee and Kolache, or Kava and Kolache, at the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. We are absolutely delighted to have you with us today and for the future if you listen to a recording of this March issue. Today we're going to continue to celebrate traditions. You know, we Czechs and Slovaks are really rich in culture and history and traditions. And March and April are good months for us to really practice, reflect, and get into the traditions that make us so special. So with me today is Sylvia Urban.
Thank you for having me.
Sylvia is our lifelong learning education specialist, and we're actually going to do three things today. Today we're going to talk about our programs that we have for March and April, and if you don't have one of these wonderful brochures where we've outlined our programs through the end of December 2026, please give us a call or write to us online, and we'll be sure to ship out to you one or however many you'd like of these wonderful 2026 pamphlets that talk about all the wonderful things that we're doing. So we're going to talk about March and April with Sylvia, who's our real expert on education. And then we're going to talk from our store. Sylvia has brought some artifacts from our store, and Andrea, our store manager, is in our homelands. So she's shared with Andrea and Sylvia what we can share with you today, what you can get. And then finally, we're going to talk about programs in May and June. So let's get this kicked off with March and April. So Sylvia, what's going on here at the museum? Because this is something that we want everybody to talk about and share.
So we have a lot of things happening, which is awesome. The nearest event we have right now is this Saturday, actually. So we have a wonderful curator guided tour of our Soul of Moravia, Joža Oprka reprised exhibit. And now, you know, some of you might remember having Joža Oprka here in the past, and so we have him back. We have his artwork back, and so he's probably one of my favorite painters. You know, along with Alphonse Mucha, who is obviously a legend here in the United States also. But you have to come and see, you know, Joža Oprka's artwork in person, and when you come in person, you really see kind of that artwork. And you know, I had a group of people here for a tour, and so they were surprised how he was able to, you know, layer the fullness of the skirts and the blouses and all that. And so just so you know, he's an artist who showcases his native region of Moravia, and you know, the folk wear and everyday life. So you know, he showcases the religious festivals that take place, you know, everyday work in fields, you know, and everyday life that people and things that they dealt with. And so really you have to come see that, and that's this Saturday at 10 o'clock. It's a curator guided tour, and you can still register for that. Then we have our next week, which is really packed with things. And the first thing is on Tuesday we have our Ambrosch Duo concert, and now that's a mother-son duo, Zuzana Ambrošová and Miroslav Ambrosch. She's a marvelous, you know, master pianist, and he's a spectacular violinist. And now they were here 2 years ago, and so I was here for the concert, and really they wrapped up the concert with a wonderful piece where he played the violin so fast that it kind of just, you know, your eyes and brain couldn't even process how he is playing the bow. So really, you're going to be in a treat when you come for that concert. And now this concert is at 7 o'clock in the evening, and the doors open at 6:30.
And you might add, Sylvia, that it's free. It's free.
It's free. Yes, it's free. We appreciate, you know, you registering, because that gives us kind of that information of how many chairs to put out and all that. But it is a free concert to attend.
And if you can't register, please come or give us a call. But we really encourage you, because this is a once in a probably every other year concert that we'll have, because with the Ambrosch Duo, they're very popular in the Czech Republic. They're from Prague. And the fact that they're coming here to be with us in Cedar Rapids is really spectacular. They'll be in California, and they'll be in other parts of the United States, but they're coming here.
Yes.
And then you're going to go to Spillville the next day, but we want to make sure that for all our Cedar Rapidians, Lynn County residents, Iowa City residents, please come. 7 o'clock Tuesday.
7 o'clock in the evening. Then we have next Friday and Saturday, we have another, you know, master pianist come, Caitlin Boska. She's been here several times, and she's great. We have workshops that she's gonna hold. One is on Friday, and the other one is Saturday. And then we're gonna also have 2 concerts. So we're gonna have a workshop Friday afternoon from 3 to 5, a workshop on Saturday afternoon from 3 to 5, and then also 2 concerts. So again, concert Friday evening at 7 o'clock, and another one on Saturday. And so we want to also showcase kind of that musicologist in her, because she's also an educator, you know, who really likes to showcase, especially the women.
Yes.
So, yep. So you're in a treat again, you know, for these concerts and the workshops. Again, you know, we appreciate if you register, and that again gives us information. And then we have that's you know, our busy week. Another thing that we have coming up is, and that's March 16th. So that's our Check 'Em Out book club. And so we just received these very neat bookmarks. And so on the other side, you have a actual list of the titles that we showcase in our Check 'Em Out book club this year. So, you know, you can stop by at the store, get one of these. The next book that we're going to be talking about on March 16th is Diana Bigelow's Wives, Widows, and Daughters. And so we're actually going to have the author herself come and talk about the book, which is always nice to have. And of course, you know, you can purchase all of the books that are on the list in our museum store. So that's one thing to look forward to. And then next would be, again, our curator guided tour on, I believe it's a Wednesday, March 18th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Again, our Soul of Moravia, Joža Uprka reprised, a curator guided tour. So, you know, if you can't make it this Saturday, you again have a chance to come back on March 18th.
And that's so important, because Joseph Uprka has really become a very popular figure in the art scene.
Yes.
And we have the collection of George Droz from Chicago, and it's one of the largest collections in the world, and probably the largest in the United States. Yes. So this is a wonderful opportunity to see. And Uprka's style is you described it well, is very unique in that he captured the spirit. Yes. In fact, Alphonse Mucha described him as the spirit and the soul of the Czech people.
Yes.
And he really, he was from Moravia, and he really captured it in his paintings. It's a little bit of a Monet style, but yet the way he did it, he was able, through his colors and through his vivid expression, be able to capture the life of our people.
Yes, and so really, you know, if you have not seen that exhibit yet, it's the best time to do right now, because it closes at the end of the month.
Right.
So, yep, you know, you can come out to the museum. Ideally, we have the 2 curator guided tours if you want to kind of learn more about his artwork, and then anytime until the end of the month when the exhibit closes.
Right, and Uprka should be, especially if you're interested in art, should be on everyone's art list, because he's getting to be very well recognized for his work.
Yes, yes. A lot of people, you know, recognize Alphonse Mucha, but now, since we also have the murals here in the Czech village, so they, you know, they come and they ask, is that artwork from Joža Uprka?
Yes.
And so, yep.
Well, you know, it's interesting, because you're from Slovakia, and I know that part of your husband's family is from Piešťany.
Yes.
And last year I was in Piešťany, and they were having a Mucha exhibit.
I actually went to that Mucha exhibit with my daughters.
Yes, and I did too. And I was so excited, because the quote from Mucha, that Uprka is the heart and soul of the Czech people, Moravian and Czech people. I thought, wow, this is amazing. And they had a wonderful exhibit, so we share that.
We actually have there's a poster from Piešťany in this exhibit there. Joža Uprka's poster from Piešťany.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
From, I believe it's like 1926 or so, 1929.
Okay. Oh, that's so interesting. You know, when you start studying our wonderful culture, you really see the connections and the learning that we can learn from the times in history, as well as the influence for all of Europe. I mean, Uprka and of course Mucha had significant impact in Europe.
And they studied, you know, in Paris. They studied in Germany.
Yes, yes. So those connections are so important, and especially in America, at this year of America 250, we need to really be aware of all these contributions that not only Czechs and Slovaks, but other cultural groups brought to this country.
Yep.
Okay, so what else is coming up?
Then, of course, our big Orloj season opening, you know.
Oh, that's right, in March 20th?
Yes, March 20th, yep. So our Orlo is hibernating currently, but we've been hearing from people how they miss the wonderful music. So if you really wanted to hear the Bedřich Smetana Vltava, Moldau, and Antonín Dvořák's New World Symphony, then you don't have to wait for much longer. In about 2 weeks. 2 weeks. We're going to reopen the Orlo season, and so at noon. And really, I've been hearing from people that they do miss seeing the statues. They do miss. I've been hearing that they've been driving around, specifically take a drive to Czech Village to see the Orlo when it was in season, which is nice to hear.
That's wonderful. Yes. And again, we have the only musical astrological clock and Orlo in the United States, and one of only 8 in the world. And ours is being run out of Prague. They're running it out of Prague, and so it is a real iconic visiting place for people who come to Cedar Rapids.
I think it truly, it at this point, it did become that staple that people come and specifically want to see, and they are asking about seeing the Orlo, yes.
That's great, that's great. So the 20th, and then we're going to have kolaches and coffee afterwards.
Yes.
So after the Orlo dedication, there'll be some kolaches. Come to the museum, and we'll have some kolaches and coffee from our wonderful collage crew. Super, that's great.
Yes. And then next we have our egg decorating classes, yes, which is always, a great class to attend. And so we have multiple of them. The first one is going to be on Friday evening at 6 o'clock. Then we have 2 more that Saturday on March 21st at 9 o'clock, and then another one at 1 o'clock. We still have spots. You can sign up, register online. And really, the Easter, I don't know if you want to talk about the Easter egg tradition, right?
Sure, yes, please.
So what you would be doing in the class is kind of the traditional wax, batik resist method, where you kind of apply the wax on your design, dip it into different colors, and then melt the wax away, and it kind of reveals this beautiful design. It is very traditional, it's not just something that Czechs and Slovaks would do. There's Ukrainians, have their own version, which is called pisanki. Ours are called kraslice. But there's different techniques. So this is what you would be, something similar to what you would be doing in the egg decorating class. And so that's going to take place in March with Emily Nadel, who carries on with the legacy of our master folk artist, Marge Nadel. And there's different techniques really that right now we have that you could purchase from the store. And so this is, to achieve this, you would dip the egg, dye it, and then you would scrape the design. So really, creativity is endless, And there's a more complicated version of it where you do multiple layers of the dye. So basically, you scratch and then you reveal multiple colored designs. But this is kind of that traditional scratch where the egg is white, and then you just dye it with some color. So we have these. This is the pin, drop, and drag method, which is very typical for Slovakia. And so really, again, you dye the egg and use the wax. Literally, you use the end of a pin. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, I did this with my kids' home also. You can, we melted crayons, so you could use crayons and all. Yep, so this is very nice, mostly typical for Slovakia. Another technique is, so this one's kind of wrapped in a very fine wire.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so that's kind of a nod to the drotari.
The baskets.
Yes,
yeah.
The tinker, was it the tinkerman?
Yeah, right.
So really, you wrap the egg around in this very, very fine wire. Yes.
Yeah, the Slovaks are pretty crafty at that too, as I recall.
Yes. Then we have another technique, which you use a very fine drill, kind of, cut out these openings there, and again, you dye the egg, do the wax, drop and drag.
Yeah, I've seen those in Czech Republic, Czechia a lot, but the drill has to be so tiny.
Yes.
Or you crack the egg. I think I cracked about 10 eggs.
Another technique is basically if you do embroidery.
Oh, sure.
Yep. So you glue the thread and kind of layer it, and really again creativity is endless. So this is a dove.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Now I see
a
it.
dove.
So
Yeah.
now, would you, when you're making those, I would always blow the egg out before I did that. So you would blow the egg out
I would
first.
do that too,
And then with
yes.
this one here is just
This one, that's a
painting.
kind of a modra style, you know,
Modra,
the
from-
modranska keramika from Slovakia.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yes. So really, the egg decorating is very traditional. You know, there's different regions that kind of do different things. Another style would be, I don't see that here, you cut up pieces of straw.
Yes,
you know,
yes, I've seen
and you
those.
iron straw and meticulously, you know, place. I believe we have a egg in our exhibit, our permanent exhibit, that's
Yes.
decorated with pieces of straw. So really, this is a very, very nice selection of the eggs, and these are all available to, you know, purchase at our museum store. There is new designs that are on the way that they're putting in their catalog. So, you know, come check us out, or, you know, see the catalog online. They're also, I was told, they're going to be getting a nice kind of sleeves that are very popular to wrap around.
Those I've used. Those are easy. Those are very easy.
Yes, and so the egg decorating would be one part of the, you know, the Easter tradition, and so we have a couple other things that we have here. And so this is a little whip, you know, a wicker whip. It's called pomlaska in Czech, or korbáč in Slovak. And so now on Easter Monday, because in Czech Republic and Slovakia, obviously there is the Easter, the religious holiday would be the Easter Sunday, but then the fun holiday would be the Easter Monday. And the boys would walk around, you know, villages and towns, visit girls, visit women. And what they would do is, with this little whip, preferably, you know, gently whip women, obviously with your consent. And the symbolic with that would be to kind of, so you can maintain beauty, health, and fertility throughout the year. And so the boys would start out with this, with a couple of ribbons, and then, you know, as they would proceed and visit more girls, they would recite rhymes. Let's say, I don't know, šiby, ryby, masné ryby, kus koláča, do korbáča, ešte k tomu groš, aby bolo dosť, you know.
Oh, wow.
Šiby, ryby, Anička, daj mi pestré vajíčka, ak už nemáš malované, tak mi daj aspoň tie biele. So really, you know, kind of like a playful rhyme, and then the girl would tie a ribbon, and so you would end up, at the end of the day, you would end up with a whole, you know, bunch of ribbons. And that was kind of also for boys kind of the bragging rights of, oh, you see, I visited so many girls and I got this many ribbons.
Well, you know, I'm so glad you gave the little saying that they give, because it was usually one of them was, give me an egg. If you don't have it colored, then give me a white egg. But nowadays, what's so funny, because I've been at Easter time in our homelands a couple of times, and they will often pour water on you.
Yes, and that again is, you know, so now people just use maybe like a glass of water, maybe perfume. But in the past, they would, especially the villages, you know, where they had little streams or ponds. So they would drag the girls in the water. Again, you know, that might seem harsh, but, and the girls, honestly, and that was like that with me. We didn't have a pond, but the boys would walk around with buckets of water. And now that was kind of one of those things that you have that love-hate relationship with, because you didn't want to, you know, be splashed with all that water, but then, you know, God forbid the boys would skip your house. So,
yes, exactly.
So again, you know, the girls were very much looking forward to it, and that symbolic, again, the water was the health, the beauty, the fertility, the kind of that, you know, the renewal since it's spring and all that.
Yeah. No, I think it's. I was often told, well, it seems like you take this and but you gently,
exactly.
And
the key is the gently, and, you know, and the constant,
right.
obviously.
And I think it's a tradition, you know, and to talk about it, and for young people to talk about it. And the two times that I've had it done to me, one time was a little bit of water, one time it was a lot. But you know what? It was fun. It was, and then you'd give the boys. I gave the boys slivovice. So you give them a little. They kind of wanted. They were young men already, and but I think those are the important things of tradition that we cherish. We certainly don't want to give an indication that it's in any way harmful, but it's a tradition.
It is. And guess what? Then on Tuesday, the girls would get their revenge, because then, you know, on Tuesday you could go and
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
Oh,
yep. So you could splash boys with water, and kind of get your revenge. Yes.
Equality in action.
Yep.
Equality
Yes,
in
yes,
action.
yes.
I love. Well, this has been really. And so for Easter's coming up then, and talk about that. Yes, I love that.
Yes. So there's this little noisemaker, and so it's very loud, and I like this because it is actually the shape of a rabbit, and bunnies. They are that symbol of that new life. And so the noisemakers, again, it was just something that people would use, walk around the villages and kind of let people know that you're coming and all.
So Easter or Velikonoce is a big deal.
It is.
And I want to just reinforce here to everyone that we are, again, through Marge Nato's family, her granddaughter kept her tradition. They'll be teaching you. Give us those dates again.
So it's March 20th in the evening, 6 o'clock, and March 21st, Saturday morning, 9 o'clock and 1 o'clock. And obviously, we want you to come, and experience this in person because it really is one of those traditions. And you're going to leave with a nice decorated egg. Now, if you are not able to, come in person or you live far away, we do have these wonderful egg decorating kits that we have in the store. We have them. Obviously, these are the grown-up versions. We also have some that are more kid-friendly. Something like this. We have books where you can see all the traditional designs. Yep, we have these printouts of motifs again that are very traditional.
And here you see the relationship that Sylvia spoke about earlier. Egg decorating is in a lot of Central and Eastern European countries. Ukraine being much...
Pisanki, Czech Republic, Slovakia, we have our kraslice.
So I think, again, that we're more commonalities than differences, and I love that. So while we're on these wonderful things from our store, do you want to explain to us some of the things you've bought from the store?
Yes, so the lamb cake, which is, very traditional. And now we also have a bunny mold, but the lamb cake is really what's really traditional. And so here in the United States, the people kind of, frost them in white frosting, put sprinkles on it. The traditional form that we would bake in Czech Republic and Slovakia would really be kind of that naked cake, maybe, dusted with a little bit of powdered sugar, put a nice little red ribbon on the neck, and that's kind of, so if you like to bake, obviously that's something you would want to try. But it's also something where, again, kind of brings the family together because you would bake with your kids, kind of that's another way kind of how to pass down the traditions and all. Besides these, we also have these little Nordic ware plates. We have these little bunny cakes. We have flowers. We have recipe books. If you are into baking also and you like to bake, the Linzer cookies. And so now this is the spring version of the Linzer cookies where you have the little lamb cut out, bunny cut out, bird and all that. So I really love this, and I actually don't have that, and I'm going to have to get this because I do like baking Linzer cookies, and Linzer cookies are
that's wonderful.
One of the, very,
that's
very
wonderful.
Nice tasting cookies and very traditional. We have these cookie cutters. These are all from Czech Republic. Yep, so these are kind of the spring themed.
Well, and all of these materials here that you see are available in our award-winning store. Just call 319-362-8500, 319-362-8500. And what we'll do is ask for the store, and they can, if you're a member, you get a discount on everything. And if you're not, join. But we're certainly able to send these items out to you. So give the store a call and start building your Easter traditions. Because I think that Velikonoce is really, it's almost like Christmas in our culture, don't you think?
And honestly, my kids, they do look forward to. So we do set out like a little vase with forsythia, and you could do live branches, you could do artificial flowers, and then what I do is kind of I arrange our eggs, in kind of this manner around. We do display our little lamb cake and all the
things. This is beautiful. What a great idea. Just to get some, artificial flowers and put the eggs. It's beautiful and it's very welcoming.
Traditionally, in Czech Republic and Slovakia, people would cut down branches of cherry trees, And now the key was the older generation, obviously through the trial and error, they knew how far out they have to cut the branches to kind of make them bloom just in time, for the Easter, which was again a very nice touch.
That's beautiful. Well done. So we've talked a little bit about upcoming this month and exciting opportunities here at the National Czechoslovak Museum and Library. We talked about the big celebration of Easter coming up. What are some highlights now until June? I know we have the whole year, but what are some so people can start putting this on their calendars? And we're trying to each year get a similar program so people can get used to certain things. So tell us what's coming up.
So, right, behind us you could see one of our current exhibits also, that is the framed certificates, in case you were wondering, what's going on behind us. So that's one of our exhibits that's going to be going on. Then we have on, I believe, March 21st is our Dressel pottery from the Nick Bernstein's collection. That's a new exhibit that's going to be opening.
Right. It's amazing pottery, amazing.
Yep, then we have the Joža Uprka exhibit closing, but then we have a new exhibit that's going to be coming up, and that's April 15th, our Count Moritz Beňovský, which was the first European globetrotter, very colorful, rich character. So Slovaks are very proud of his persona and
very good.
This character. And so we have him. We have the exhibit open on it's April 15th. The official ribbon cutting wouldn't happen until I think it's May 2nd at noon is when we're going to be officially ribbon cutting. But the exhibit is going to be open on April 15th. And then we have our economic summit, which is a kind of our one of the events that is part of our big week. And so this is a 2-day event. The first day is on Thursday 30th, and then our second day would be on Friday, May 1st. And so we have some events that are clustered around. We have another exhibit opening that's going to happen on Thursday 30th at 5:30, and that's our. And I'm really looking forward to. Yes. So I really want to see. I kind of heard what pieces are there, but I'm really looking forward to seeing that in person. And so this is going to be the From Needle and Thread to UNESCO. And now this is women's Kolache's naive painting collection. And so if you're not familiar with kind of the background, there is a rich and colorful community of Slovaks living in Serbia. And so there's this group, that they are famous for these naive paintings. And so they depict that, very bright colors, folk motifs, everyday life, and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then we have our very awesome concert that I'm looking forward to, and that's our 4 tenors. Now, some of you might remember that they were scheduled to be here last year. Unfortunately, unforeseen, health circumstances made this to be postponed, and so they're going to be here on May 1st at 7:30 in the evening. And this is really something that a lot of people are looking forward to. We're getting phone calls, asking when they're coming, if they're going to be back. So yes, they're going to be back, and so they're going to be here as part of our big week events. And then we have Saturday, May 2nd, when we have a couple. As I already mentioned, the Count Moritz Beňovský's official kind of the ribbon cutting at noon. But even before that, we're going to have the representative John Micah book collection opening reception, which is, I believe, going to take place here at the library at 11 o'clock.
And that's really important because Representative John Micah, a longtime congressman from Florida, has contributed to his 16th and 17th century book collection. And it represents several countries from throughout Europe. This is an incredibly rare.
Very rare. I heard, there are very old pieces that it's going to be awesome to have.
And John is coming, Representative Micah and his wife Pat are coming, so that'll be great. So.
And then we have our gala. That a lot
May
of people are
2nd, gala. Be sure
yes.
you call and get on the list to get your tickets.
And then we kind of, we're getting to that time of the year where we again have our popular hobby days.
Yes,
popular hobby days, which we usually have a concert here in the National Czechoslovak Museum and Library on Friday evening. That is kind of that kickoff to hobby days. And the Hobby Days is the weekend of May 16th and 17th. And so on Friday evening, May 15th, we have Žerotín, which is a Moravian folk group.
12 dancers.
Yes, 12 dancers, yes. Yes, and so I'm always looking forward to these groups coming here, and really they bring, you know, great music. I love the singing, I love the dancing, so I'm looking forward to this. And then, you know, we have our hobby days happening that weekend, and so we usually have collage demonstrations here.
Right.
We have our community demonstration alley that we set up here at the museum that you can come check out. We sell collages, so, you know, if you're, again, you know, you're longing for that yummy treat, so we invite you to come for our hobby days. And I believe we usually sell them here at the museum and also on the 16th Avenue. And now, you know, there's other things that are happening with hobby days in collaboration with the Czech Religious Association. So I invite you to, you know, to check out the official hobby days
So
page.
the first weekend of May is really here for the gala, the
Yes.
economic summit, and the four tenors. Then 2 weeks later, the third week is the big hobby day. So May, the first week and the third week.
Yes, it's the weekend after the Mother's Day.
Yeah,
I believe
okay.
it's always when we have our hobby days. Yes, and then on May 31st is when another exhibit that's right now happening, Woodcut Mozart, is closing. So, you know, if you have not seen that, again, you know, come to the museum, check it out. It's also a very nice exhibit. And then it kind of leads us to June events, and we have Karol Samuelczyk, who's going to be coming. He's a guitar player, so we're going to have a classical, you know, guitar concert happening on Tuesday evening, June 2nd, and that's at 7 p.m. I believe. Yes, 7 p.m. And then we have June 13th. We have another exhibit opening, and that's going to be Forgotten Gateway: Coming to America Through Galveston.
This is really important
Yes.
because, you know, Texas has the highest number of Czechs in the country. And the people don't realize that they came through Galveston.
Yes.
So this is an incredible exhibit.
And you know, they call themselves Czechsons.
They
call themselves Czechsons. You know, they're very much proud of their heritage. They love their polka, they love their kolache, although there's a heated debate of what they consider kolache, right?
Absolutely. I call it the Texas kolache. I
Yes,
refuse to call it a regular.
yes.
It's kolache with meat.
Yes, kolache with meat, which we would call it something like klobásnik, because, you know, it has the sausage in it or some kind of meat filling. So there is a heated debate of, you know, if we can consider that a true kolache or not, but Czechs are very much proud of that tradition. And so a lot of people do not know. They think that, you know, basically Ellis Island was the only kind of that port of entry where Czechs and Slovaks, you know, immigrated through. But actually Galveston, Texas was also a big one where I think people from
Moravia.
Moravia was big where they immigrated through Galveston, yep. Yes, and then we have our on June 19th, we have our America 250, History of Immigration from the Homeland.
Yes.
And that's going to be an interesting lecture from Ivan Dubovitsky, who's going to be visiting.
And Ivan Dubovitsky is a scholar on immigration from Prague. He works for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So that's great. We're excited to have it.
And then we have our, which I'm looking forward to also, we have our Czech language classes for youth and adults. And now this is going to be happening Monday through Thursday, June 22nd through 25th. And now we're going to have classes for youth, we're going to have classes for adults, and we're also going to have an online class this year that's going to be just purely, you know, virtual. So everyone, you know, regardless of if they're able to come to the museum, is going to be able to sign up for this and attend
Right, and what's unique about this class too, because there are a lot of classes available, is that you not only learn the language, but you learn a little bit about culture, customs,
Yes,
and traditions,
yes.
and I think that's important.
That's very important, yes. And then we're going to wrap up June with a concert. I believe she plays clarinet.
Clarinet,
Yep, and Anna Pavlova, and that's Thursday, June 25th at 7 p.m., which again, you know, we're inviting you to that concert.
So that takes us to half the year.
Yes,
and
half the year.
bit-
You know, a lot of things to look forward to, and you know, to come check us out.
Right. Well, we always say that our three core functions at the National Czech and Slovak Library and Museum are number one, curatorial or exhibits. Number two, our wonderful library that has not only fantastic collections, but they do genealogical assistance if you want to check up on your roots and find those connections. And then finally, our education.
Education, yes.
And education kind of infiltrates the other two areas too. But we want people to walk away from here with a sense of the rich culture and apply it to their own. So
Yes.
we are very excited about that.
Yes, you know, we always say you don't have to be of a Czech or Slovak heritage to come check the museum out, because there is always something that you can apply to your own heritage. And so I actually, when you mentioned the education, you know, the kids really like our interactive map there. And so I always, you know, tell them that ask your grandma, grandpa what heritage
Good.
you are, and then you can come check our map out, and you can select the nationality and see where your heritage settled throughout the United States and through different time periods.
No, that's so important. So it's a museum for all, and we look forward to that. And Sylvia, thank you so much
Thank
for all
you.
that you do. And we invite you again to come and see us. Look us up online, ncsml.org, or give us a call and certainly check out
Yes.
our wonderful store. And we'll see you next month on the April edition of Coffee and Kolache.
Thank you.